and welcome to the Aspire for Excellence Foundation seminar series. Tonight is a beautiful night. Okay, today is the 15th of June 2024. There has never been a day like this, and there will never be another day like this. And today, on the desk of the Aspire for Excellence, we will be taking a presentation titled Self-Esteem, Overcoming Internal Barriers to Personal Achievement. And with us today is our speaker, Engineer William Asim-Ita. He will be speaking from now till about 8:30. That's about an hour, I would say. Okay. Okay. There will be time for question and answers. So if you have any questions or any questions, please put them in the chat box, and he's going to address your questions at the end of the day. Some ground rules, please. If you have your video on, I can't see right now. Please put off your video and please mute your mics. Please mute your mics also. And our co-host on the line, you could help mute the mics of other people who are joining also, who are not supposed to have their mic on. Other than that, I think we are ready to start. But just before we start, we will take the bio of Engineer William Asim-Ita. And to do that, I will call on George. Okay, George, please, can you read the bio of our speaker tonight? And then we will be ready to start. Let's go, George.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Good evening, all.
Good evening.
Mr. William Asim-Ita is a trained chemical engineer from the prestigious Federal University of Technology, Owerri, and is currently an MBA student at the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. A professional with about 2 decades of cumulative practical experience in brand communications, procurement, CSR, HSE, engineering and environmental sustainability, having executed and gone through a series of projects and training and courses. He has applied his skill set working with blue chip companies and multinationals like GSK, Unilever, MBA, Coca-Cola, Powerhouse, Total Energies, just to name but a few. A rare mix of corporate, business, and agency service delivery experiences has positioned him with a balanced perspective of processes and innovative system management. Mr. William is a seasoned consultant and a team player with great attention to details. His burning passion for excellent service delivery makes him a resourceful problem solver, trusted consultant, implementer, and auditor for your organization's business, brand, ESGs, and technical projects. He's a registered engineer, current, with professional affiliations as a member of Nigerian Society of Engineers, Nigerian Environmental Society, and International Society of Sustainability Professionals, and Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria. Mr. William plays tennis. He loves football, likes traveling, enjoys gospel music. He's a field representative of the Full Gospel Businessmen's Fellowship International. He's happily married and blessed with 3 children. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, George. And with that, Mr. Engineer Williams, you have the floor.
Good evening, gentlemen and ladies. Thank you so much for having me this evening. I would especially want to thank Engineer Mike for inviting me for this. I've followed Aspire for Excellence webinar series for some time, and I've listened to very, very renowned speakers of high repute. And today, I'll be lending my little voice to the subject before us, which is self-esteem, overcoming internal barriers to personal achievements. And the few minutes we'll spend together, I'm sure that we'll have wonderful things to learn as we proceed. So, can you help me with the slides? Next slide, please.
Okay. I've moved the slides. Can you see it?
Okay, yes. So, haven't been introduced. My name is Engineer William Asim-Ita. and I'm happy to be here this evening. And I just want us to be attentive. I'll try as much as possible to break down the topic before us, and I pray that it will be of great value to you. So I'll just want to go through the what we have this evening. I'll quickly take. I'm not seeing the slide moves. Is that not move yet to the content of the next slide?
You want the next slide? This is where we are.
Yes. Because what I'm seeing on the screen is not.
What are you seeing on your screen, please?
Are we on slide 2?
Yes. Okay, just hold on a bit. Hold on a bit. Okay, what can you see now?
Yes, okay, fantastic. So we'll be talking about. I just cascaded this slide to make it very easy and simple into 3 branches, which is I'll be talking about introduction, which has to do with definitions and some comparisons. The next part of the slide, which is going to be the issues. What is really the root cause of self-esteem? And we'll also look at low self-esteem as a topic, as an issue. Then, having understood what it's all about, what is the way forward, how to improve, and we'll just talk about the God factor. Next slide. So, as I said, as I was introduced earlier, I'm Engineer William Asim-Ita, an engineer. I love business. I'm also a very creative person, and I have some stories to share with us in the course of this. So, next slide. So the first slide I'm talking about is just a quote crafted by me, saying that your self-worth is not dependent on external validation. Your self-worth is not dependent on external validation. You are too loaded with internal treasures. I would like you to say this to yourself, that your self-worth is not dependent on your external validation. No, you are too loaded with internal treasures. Next slide. So just introduction. Next slide. So what is self-esteem? What is self-esteem? Simply can be defined as the subjective evaluation of one's own worth. Subjective. Look at the word subjective. Subjective evaluation of one's own worth. So how do you quantify? How do you value qualitatively and quantitatively your self-worth? So that's what self-esteem talks about, and it encompasses beliefs about oneself as well as emotional states such as your triumph, that's your victories, your despair, those things that push you down, pride and shame. So you can see the interwoven and the funny mix of success and failure. And like I'll tell people that if you are a man or a woman of victory, I must see your scars. Your scars qualifies you and gives you that credibility and that badge to say that I have passed through the fire, or have passed through stuff to become victorious. So key components we're looking at self-confidence, we're looking at self-respect and self-worth. I call this the 3S. The 3S. Your self-confidence, your self-respect, and self-worth. Self-confidence speaks to one's ability, qualities, and judgments. So you're confident in what you can do. I can speak, I can write, I can draw, I can do the X, Y, I'm good in maths. That's your self-confidence. You know the abilities that you possess. The self-respect speaks to the recognition of the inherent skill set you have and the worth and dignity that you attach to it. That is self-respect. Then we'll talk about self-worth, which is the overall sense of value of a person. So when you talk about self-worth encompasses both the self-confidence and your self-respect. Next slide.
Okay, sorry, please. I'm not sure we are hearing you very clearly. Could you maybe come closer or something, please?
I'm sorry about that. Can you hear me now? Is it
Yes, we
better
can
now?
hear you, but yeah. I think it's a bit better than that. Okay.
Is it better now?
Yes, it's better now. Yes.
Okay. So next slide. Next slide.
Yes. I've changed the slides.
Okay. So I would like to speak to the difference between low self-esteem and healthy self-esteem. These are two varying distinctions that I would like us to get some things out of this. So, you know, for someone to be in low self-esteem, that means the person has doubts on their abilities, has doubts on what he or she can do. And this speaks to high sense of sensitivity to criticisms and feelings of inferiority. So inferiority complex comes in, you know, um, for some people that work in cross cross-sectional environment where you have people from different nationalities and the likes. Some maybe as a result of accent, maybe my accent does not sound, I'm not sounding very polished. So there's this self-doubt on my ability. Sometimes some people sound very intelligent and they are not brilliant. Some are people are very brilliant and intelligent. So some people find themselves in the mix. So these are characteristics that could warrant to low self-esteem. So when you're in an environment where you find out that you may have some people that have higher tendencies than what you possess, that's what talks about. So those are the characteristics that talks up to self-esteem. The behavioral signs are very, very obvious. The person just is withdrawn, he avoids challenges. Um, there's this self-neglect, or I don't belong, so I'm on my own. Sometimes some people that you think that are very, very humble, I'll say this, that humility, your humility or your quietness is not a guarantee that you are a humble person. So some people may be quiet as a result of deficiency. Now, maybe you've not tasted some level of exposure or cash or the like, so you tend to be a bit reserved. But some people, when they just have a little exposure, you see them everywhere. Um, an example is a young Nigerian entrepreneur who doubts um, his or her ability to succeed in the tech industry due to gender bias or societal expectations. So maybe because you're a lady or you're working in an environment that is male dominated, there's this, am I sure? Or I don't want people to pity me to give me jobs. No, I want to end these jobs. So by so doing, you start biting yourself. So those are the three um, um, characteristics that speaks to low self-esteem. Now, to high self-esteem is a balanced view of strengths and weaknesses, positive self-talks, resilience to criticisms, and acceptance. So these are the characteristics that portrays someone that has a healthy self-esteem. You know, people must accept you for your uniqueness. So the way I am, I'm not too tall, I may not look or appear the way a particular set of people may see it. I'm sorry, I'm carefully and wonderfully made, and that's how I've taken myself. I'm happy with it. So that's the direction a healthy self-esteem person should to take. So behavioral signs are very, very pertinent here. Embracing challenges, you're not afraid to take up tasks. Um, you have healthy relationships with people. You keep relationships. You are not docile. You're active. You care. You are realistic in your goal setting. You don't allow people's goals and to overwhelm you or to threaten you. Those are the behavioral signs. Then an example is someone like Chimamanda Adichie, the renowned Nigerian author who is very confident. You need to see her speak in American landscapes. She's so confident, despite her color, despite her gender, despite some of the things that a normal female um, author may already downplays or her potentials, but she's very vocal about it. She's very proud about her color. She's very open, and that is a good example of a Nigerian. Why am I using Nigerian? I believe that most of us on this call belong to this country, even though we may have some people that are outside the country that are here, but I don't have to speak to that. Next slide. So I'll be talking about the issues. What is the root cause of low self-esteem? Number one is personal experiences. People have different backgrounds. Some people have experience of that has traumatized them as a result of bullying or criticism. So this alone is enough to put you in a low self-esteem. For those people that attended boarding school, you find out that some people that attended boarding school, maybe they had some horrible experiences as brothers. Maybe they were bullied or they were abused and all of that. So this affects their low self-esteem. It grants them automatic low self-esteem. So some people cannot stand criticisms, and they are also afraid of the fear of the unknown. They're afraid of failure. I call it fear of the unknown. So they don't know what tomorrow may bring. Maybe I've failed 2 or 3 times in business. So for that reason, I don't think I should venture into it again. And I remain where I am. Another root cause of low self-esteem is cultural and societal factors. Some people come from roots where have terrible stigmas as a result of maybe the kind of food they eat or their cultural practices or things that can be discriminatory. So that's or alone, they say a good name is better than silver and gold. So that name serves as a stigma to them, and they don't want to get association. So that causes them to live low, lie low, and stay low. Another factor, which this is also a root cause, is family dynamics. Some people come from abusive homes. So in other words, they come from homes where they have battery, they have people talk down on them, things are not so they're from their roots, which is their homes. They don't find it very funny. And they grow out and come out that way, and you see them docile, you see them shy, you see them in their shells. And another thing we speak to is internal factors. These internal factors are negative perceptions as a result of mental health issues, which can be depression or anxiety. So some people are passed through some level of depression that they've not come out of their shell and they are still there. So these are practical issues that we may find ourselves. So procrastination can also be a result of low self-esteem. You keep promising, I will do, I will do, I will do, and some of these things can be, I'll call them their dysfunctional traits that is being possessed that you cannot really help yourself. That you may need to either see a therapist or you may need to change the environment. So we'll also look at the solutions and the way forward when we get to that area. Some people are found themselves working with bosses that are perfectionists. So they want things this way, and if you cannot match up with that, you are not good enough. So there's this message that I'm not good enough. So I'm fighting myself to bring out the very best in me, and that is also so the pressure to succeed. Maybe you find yourself in an environment whereby you have people who are extremely intelligent. You scoring 75%. Seems as if you're not good enough because you have people around that are always hitting 90 and above. So your 100%, which is an A, still does not go well with you because you cannot match up with you cannot be compared with people. I call them alpha brains who are high up there. So those are the factors that may result to serve as a root cause of low self-esteem. I would like to share a story with us. When I was in the university, I schooled in Futu. On campus, I was not very intelligent. That's truth be told. I was not an A student. But something happened to me in my first year on campus, and that's redefined my life entirely. I had a very horrible handwriting. I could not do anything good for myself. I didn't see myself as a but in all of this, something happened to me, and that was an encounter I had, an encounter I had with God, and it was as if there was a crown that was put on my head, a crown of excellence. And before I knew what happened, there was a dramatic change in my life in every area, from the way I behaved, the way I dressed, the way I communicated, the way I wrote my notes, the way my life just changed. And someone that came with a very low self-esteem into the campus. Before I knew what happened, I was a tutorial master on campus. I was in tutorials. And imagine someone that could not even talk to himself, taking tutorials of about 50 to 100 people on a weekly basis. So you can come out, you can practically come out of this. And let me look at the next slide, and as we see um, the steps on how we can look at this. So that speaks to the significance of healthy self-esteem, personal well-being, enhancing your mental health, reduces anxiety and depression. So when you understand that you need to enhance so your mental health does not really mean that you must go to the psychiatric hospital. No, not at all. But it means for you to have a fresh air, a fresh air, fresh aura, fresh insights, if I may borrow that word, into yourself and see the best that you have. I talked about my quote initially that you don't need external validation, but because you are loaded, you have internal treasure which you are loaded with. So that's what the significance of a healthy self-esteem. Second thing is relationship. Who do you flock yourself around? They said, birds that flock together. You know, who are your friends? What kind of relationship do you keep? Who do you interact with? Those are the things that will also be a pointer that will bring that shining light in you out. People that can bring out the best which you have inside of you. So these are importance of self-esteem. Productivity. This encourages taking on challenges that leads to personal and professional growth. You see yourself, can I do this? Can I really achieve this? And that productivity, there's a difference between effectiveness and efficiency. So in other words, you may be an effective person. In other words, you are doing so much, but there's no conversion of what you are doing to results. And like I was saying, in local balance, person will read book, not serious students, or person will pass exam, na sabi book. In other words, you may be very, very effective in reading and studying very hard, but your results does not speak. Like I also say to people that one of the quotes I love so much, I say that your results cancels every insult. So it results that cancels insult. And productivity is very, very key to self-esteem. And a goal that you have achieved, trust me, will propel you to the next height, propels you to the next step. Resilience, which is another point. Let's talk about your strengths and ability to cope with setbacks and failures. Setbacks and failures. The person talking to you today is someone that has suffered some level of setbacks in life. First of all, before I got admission to secondary school, it was a challenge. On finishing school, I wrote jam 3 times before I got admission. It was a challenge. That was another setback for me. On finishing school, on graduation from Futu, it took me 5 years, 5 solid years to get my first job. So you see the resilience here. That the person you are speaking to, is not speaking to you as a ready-made person. But I'm talking to you as one that's passed through the school of hard knocks. I call it school of hard knocks. I've been panel beaten, sandpapered, fried, and God has brought me out as a product, cleaning my mess and giving me a message to share to someone that's passing through a level of depression or a level of setback, that all things are possible to him that believes. So I've had my fair share of setbacks, and I'm telling you that resilience and the staying power, it's what we need. Some of us are passing through some phases, and I want to guarantee you that there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Next slide. So, how healthy self-esteem contributes to personal achievements? How healthy self-esteem contributes to personal achievement? Number one is motivation. You need to encourage yourself. You need to ginger. If I call it ginger, your ginger. There's nobody that would come and tell you how you're going to go. Everybody has his or her own problems, his or her own challenges and things to face. So you need to motivate yourself, encourage yourself, pursue these ambitions. There are goals, set goals bigger than you, and try to see how you can, break those limits. So you need to motivate yourself. Self-motivation is very key. And if you are not a self-starter, you could also look up to people, have models that you can look up to and say, look, I like what this person is doing. I had a model in my secondary school. That's far back at secondary school. Today is a medical doctor, Dr. Mwabes Osuji. Beautiful handwriting, fantastic footballer, intelligent guy, and everything. He was my model. From my SS1 to SS3, he was my model. I looked up to him to this extent that I failed my physics and math and chemistry tests in secondary school because I vowed not to copy, and that has taken me up to this level. Any exam result I get today is as a result of on my own, not even looking at left or right. It was so bad that I said I wrote jam 3 times. So I failed jam 3 times because I did not want to cheat in the exam hall. That's to show you how someone can be so stubborn in terms of self motivation, and until I got that breakthrough. So it's good for you to be a motivator. If you cannot motivate yourself, look for people that can serve as motivators for you. Confidence provides the assurance to take risk and innovation. And what happens to confidence is that once you have a result, it propels you to, to take the next step, to take the next task, to take the next initiative. When you're confident and you know that I've done this before, I can do it again. The hymn writer says, count your blessings and name them one by one, and surprise you what God has done. So what setbacks have you had in time past? How did you scale through them? How have you come out of it? The new one that has evolved from you. So that's boosts your confidence. I know that I can do it. So persistence, I said Rama talks about the staying power. What's the staying power? How can I sustain the effort? Sometimes it's always an aspiration to look forward, look up to things, see how you can get to the top. But I tell you that it's very difficult to maintain the top. The staying power is not beans. It's not easy. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of resilience for you to exist and stay and sustain. So that's what sustainability talk about. How to keep a process or a system afloat that guarantees continuous. I didn't say partial success or victory. Continuous. So in other words, it's a system that runs, that guarantees continue, and that system has to do with a lot of hard work that has to be put in place. Now we'll look at leadership. Leadership enhances ability to inspire and lead others effectively. So a leader without a follower is not a leader. So who are the people following you? Who are you mentoring? And how are you affecting people? What impact are you making in the lives of others? That's what we do is about self-esteem. In the 2 or 3 people you are influencing, how are you helping them? How are you shaping destinies? So those are the things that speaks to leadership. Next slide. So we are going to look at the way forward. The way forward. Having said that, what's the way forward? Number one, I'll talk about is how to improve your self-esteem, which is positive self-talk. Positive self-talk. This is proven psychological therapy. Speak to yourself. Speak to yourself. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So speak to yourself. I can do it. All things are possible. Forget about the negative things. Make positive affirmations. Some people have it in their bedrooms. They have some quotes in their bedroom when they're having their beds. They see those things. They say those things. Some have it as desktop. You can place that on your desktop of your laptop. I want to buy this Lexus Jeep. So I look at it every day and I see it. And the more I see, the more I compress it, it comes to pass. So self-talk self is very very important for us to as a formula to use to improve your self-esteem. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. These are positive symptoms that you need to confess with your mouth. The next point I want to talk about is self-realistic goals. You know, people talk about smart goals, but I will call my smarter goals. Yes, so smarter goals. So you look at goals that are achievable, that you can do, and things that can also push you to evaluate and re-strategize. So the ER there means evaluation after this normal traditional smart goals that you are used to. I call my smarter goals. The E there for me is to evaluate. How can I evaluate what I've done? And the R there stands for re-strategize. So if I break the limits, I can set another goal for myself and push the limit higher and push myself because there are hidden treasures in me that have not yet found expressions. So those goals are very, very important too. But you can start from achievable goals, and after you can stretch yourself to see how you can achieve more. Also self-care, regular physical, emotional, and mental care routines, exercise. Personally, I love tennis. From when my resume was read, I play tennis, and I love football. So I watch football to relax. But when I want to go physical, I play tennis. Even in my photo days, and imagine someone standing photo with all that stress. We had a tennis court in school, and I was going there to play tennis. Sometimes I even go to Owerri town to Concord Hotel and play. People ask, how are you doing this with this federal university of tension already? You still have to play tennis. I told them no. That's always been part of me. You need to give your body exercise, and it's in these exercises that your nerves are relaxed, your psychology, your physiology is being expanded, your muscles are toned, and things happen, and it also it helps your body chemistry to adapt and expand and reset if the case may be. So self-care is very, very key. And do some routines, stroll, work out, join gyms, and all of that. Whatever you think that you can do to take care of yourself is very, very important. Seek support. I'm an advocate of collaborative work. I collaborate a lot. I seek for support. I engage people. I have supportive friends, mentors, and professionals that if I need help, I can run to. So many times we break our heads in trying to do something ourselves. But if you are just ask the question, you say the problem shared. If I just share that problem with someone, the person just giving me a hint, I will just change the trajectory and take me to where I want to go to faster, effortless, and easier versus doing it all by myself. So seek support does not make you a weakling or a low person. Number 5 then means embrace failures. View setbacks as a learning opportunity rather than reflections of what. I've had some failures in business. I got a contract with SPDC, that Shell during the COVID time, and that made me to move to Port Harcourt, and I got a very, very big facility in Port Harcourt, spent some millions there, set up the place, and before you know what happened, COVID came. And when COVID came, my contact that was supposed to, so the contract was almost signed, that was supposed to issue the contract was halted before you know he was relieved of his job during the COVID. And that service which I wanted to render was no more needed because during the COVID, they found an innovation of ways they could do that solution in another way. So my solution became obsolete automatically. I lost money, but did that make me stop not to be adventurous again? No. So I will not say because I had that setback that I would nosedive the business and say no, I won't do it again. No. So I've had clients, I've lost some big clients too. That's for example, I used to work for GSK. GSK used to be my biggest client in terms of branding. And all of a sudden, GSK left the country. They're no more here. P&G, the same thing. They left. And these are multinational companies that used to service the business. But would that make me fold my hands? No. Those are some setbacks that we need to fold your sleeves and see how you can, re-strategize and see how you can bring out other solutions that can be beneficial to other clientele base. And and as a result of this movement, it has changed my business offerings to something else that's giving us more business. So you see that sometimes disappointment become a blessing, you know. So we need to embrace failure with our hearts and see how we can do. So the last point I'll speak to on how to improve your self-esteem is skill development, continuous learning. As you heard on my bio, I'm a student. I'm doing my MBA in Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. Apart from that, I have bagged enough ISO certifications. I go for a lot of seminars. I give myself to continuous learning and continuous improvement because that's the only way. There's a saying that says that the day you stop learning, that's the day you start dying. So I give myself to learning, unlearn. I unlearn so many things. I relearn and I still learn. So it's something that each and every one of us, I would encourage us to do. This will really, really improve and boost your self-esteem, makes you versatile, makes you confident. You know, I imagine somebody that is doing business. Now, if I start speaking to you in business terms now, you will think I'm an accountant. Oh, no, I'm not an accountant because I've subjected myself to learning. But if I want to play in the in the ESG's balance, apart from the technical knowledge I have, I also must understand business terms, how to speak to investors, how to understand financial terms, and how to gauge and look at viable businesses. If not, you will run with emotions and you get your fingers burnt. So skill development is very, very important. Now, because of our time, I think I have to be a bit faster. I want to speak to one part here, which is very dear to me. I must say this. So many times, some people don't give us the secrets to their successes. They just tend to say, I'm a self-made man. I do things myself. I have routines and all of that. But I want to tell you that in business, it's 98% spiritual. I said 98%, yes, spiritual, and 2% physical. And that is the reason why you find out that if you look at the music industry, so many of the songs that you see are downloaded from REMs, not just from beats and you hear. Some innovations you see and you hear, oh, someone was in the lab experimenting already. It's a lie. These are things that are transported from the physical and from other realms. And that's what talks about. That's why for me as a Christian, I don't know if you have other people of other faiths here on this call, but as a Christian, I speak that the God factor is very, very key in anything you do. And number one, I'll talk about is spiritual belief. In faith in God, love, and purpose can reinforce your self-worth and purpose. Who are you? I know who I am. I walk in power. I live a life of miracle. I live a life of wonders. I know who I am. Those are affirmations I make. Those are my belief systems. I believe that all that I am is from God. The resources come from God. So it gives me that check, and I know, when you know your source and when you know your connection, it gives you some effrontery. So if I'm a son of President Tinubu today, I tell you that I work with immunity, I work with confidence because I know that I'm the number one son of the land, and I have that confidence. How much more if that's a human in human balance? How much more the God that made the heavens and the earth and all that is in it? So if you have that confidence and that self-belief, it gives you that edge and it breaks every form of low self-esteem that may be resident in you. Biblical encouragement. You look at the book of Psalm 139, verse 14. It says, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. This reminds individual of your value system. Sometimes when I see some women and some ladies try to make up on things that God did not give them, it pains me when I see some people bleach. Look at me, look at this color. I love black. Black is beauty. And I believe in it. That's why I'm married a very dark ebony, beautiful lady. I can't stand people that bleach. I see that as speaking, right? You know, wearing artificial nails, all those kind of things. These are things that try to diminish your value system for your creation, which God has created you in. So obviously that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I accepted the way I am, the height God has given to me. That is what I think is the best for me. And the earlier you believe this, the better for you. You know, but so many times some people have this quest, quest to make themselves, and you didn't make yourself. And your body chemistry, your psychology, your physiology, and all your generic makeup that makes you who you are is of God. And if you are not in tune and in sync with it, I think the best person for you to do is for thing to going to do is to refer back to the manual or refer back to the manufacturer to say, Daddy, please check me out. I need this, I need that. I think it will be a better way than for you to help yourself because you cannot really help yourself. So another point I want to talk about here is community support, engaging yourself in faith-based communities, fellowships, church, and the likes. I'm a member of the Full Gospel Businessmen Fellowship International. I'm not just a member, I'm a field representative. So that means I supervise like 6 chapters under me. So that was it was in a church balance. I would say that I am a regional pastor or an area pastor. So I have chapters that report under me. So it's a businessman fellowship, and we share testimonies of a better kind of life in Christ Jesus. So that's an environment I found myself. At the testimonies of sharpen me up. I hear others, I share mine, and the Bible says that as a sharpened iron, so as a man sharpens himself. So those community and those support systems are very good. Then the final point I'll talk about on the health factor is the purpose-driven life. There's a book called The Purpose-Driven Life, written by Rick Warren. I read that book like 5 times. I will encourage us to read that book. That book would attempts to define the purpose in which God created you. 40 chapter book, and I pray that if you can have time to go through it, it will really boost your productivity, and to also redefine your self-worth of who you are, of what God has made of you, and what you can offer. You know, back to this, I would like to say something. You know, sometimes we think that you being quiet is a virtue. Some of us that are a bit outspoken, I wish I was quiet like this brother. I wish I was this like this person. Everybody has his own. There's a friend of mine that was looking for a lawyer to 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 represent him in a matter. And I was trying to introduce him to my wife. I said, he said, no, she's too quiet. I want a rugged lawyer like a different or a rugged person like Ebu. Somebody like that, someone that has that rough. Do you get someone that has that kind of aura, that can roar in the courts? Do you mind? So you know that you're trying to want to be a quiet person, but there's someone that wants you the way you are. So there's a market for everybody. There's an opportunity for everybody. And I'd like to say this, that when preparation meets opportunity, it gives birth to success. So preparation plus opportunity births success. And how prepared are you? That's the question I would like to ask. How prepared are you? Sometimes some people get themselves into opportunities and they're not prepared. You know, your opportunity to meet the president, the president of the United States of America today. What will you share with the person? What will you share with him? You know, I always encourage people to have this elevator pitch. How can you tell me about your business? How can you tell about yourself in 5 minutes? If you're opportunity to meet the first lady, what will you tell her? What will you tell him? That's an assignment for us. So today, you may appear young. People may not believe in us, but we will prove them wrong by succeeding and making them proud. This was a quote by my mentor, Tony Elumelu. This is a man that has proven to me what it means to be an entrepreneur and what it means to be a businessman. This year alone, all his companies declared mega profits, from transport power to Transcorp Hotel, to UBA, as a man of excellence, but he was not given an opportunity. So he didn't come from he was not born in the silver spoon. He climbed the ropes and is where he is today. And you too also can be there. So I like to use opportunity in closing to say that we all are loaded and God has deposited something in us. Break up that self-esteem and you'll be better for it. Thank you for having me, and I'll be open to questions in this call. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, William Asim-Ita. Thank you very much. Can we all please give him some digital claps? Okay, please, just to tell him thank you and to appreciate him. Thank you very much. Please, do you have any questions? Please, if you have any, let's check the chat box. I haven't had. Okay, let's see if we have some questions in the chat box. Okay. Okay. A lot of people complained about not being able to hear you also.
Wow.
I'm just seeing this now. Okay. But I hope we may have improved. If you want the materials, okay, the slides will be shared at the end of the day. So please click on the WhatsApp group that you have over here, please. Check the WhatsApp group. We will share it in the WhatsApp group. So just click on the WhatsApp group to activate it. Okay. But I would say that it's an inspiring talk you have had. Okay. First with the 3 times you tried to do JAM, the 5 years you had to do. So it seems that JAM jammed you too. Not only you,
jammed me very well.
There are other people too who the 5 years before you used to get a job. So I think it was quite inspirational. So thank you very much. We have some people who have raised their hands. Okay, we have Ijoma Obi here. So that's the first person. So Ijoma Obi, please, you can unmute your mic and ask your questions. I think William is ready for you. Hopefully he will jam your questions.
No, it's not actually a question. I just wanted to say thank you for the training. That's all. I appreciate.
Wow, that's lovely. That's kind of you.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. All right, so thanks very much for that. Does anyone have any comment, any question? Please, now is the time, please. You can just raise up your hand. We'll call you. Okay, Agu. Okay, Agu's hand has gone down again. Anyone has any question? Please raise up your hand before we draw the curtain. Okay. All right. Myself, I have a little question to ask. Okay.
Go ahead,
there are a
sir.
number of people who say that because of the culture in which we are, let me explain what I mean. You know that. Let me explain what I mean. You know that we have a lot of in Africa. We have a lot of, call it culture. We respect our elders. If you see what I mean.
Yes.
And many times when you have ideas, matching ideas, there are many times we don't want to prove those who are our elders or those who are senior to us wrong. Can I give you an example? I was somewhere outside this country, and someone told me that in their class, okay, this person is an Asian, you had Africans and you had Europeans in that class. He said in the class, when they do mathematics, physics, and all those things, the Nigerians, the Asians will come top. But when they ask the children of Africans and Asians to come to come before the class, to introduce themselves and to talk about themselves, when they rank them, the Europeans and the Westerners come first, and the Africans and the Asians eventually come last. How do we balance it? It seems that if you are born in this side of the world, you need probably to put in more, let's call it more effort if you need to overcome that self-confidence, that inertia to have self-esteem. And this is something I have been told by a neighbor of mine. understand what I mean, who was living abroad as at that time. Okay, and this happened in an international school abroad in a certain country in Europe. Okay, I don't know if you understand what I've said.
Yes, yes, I get what you're saying, and I have a similar experience, which I will share with you now.
Okay.
So I was just waiting for you to finish.
Okay, I'm through with the question. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much for that question. So in the course of my discussion, I made mention about trying to prove your critics wrong, but not in a contest, but in a way to also maintain your sanity and your self-balance and your self-worth. Sorry. Why? What do I mean? So like what you just said now. There is this discrimination. It's not just even in not even in the academia, even in professional settings. That you see a technician coming from the Philippines, and this is a technician that does not even know the principle behind it because of his color. Whatever he says is final. Whereas you may have a superior position in terms of solution to a problem, but you will not be heard because of your background, because of your culture, and all of and the likes. So I'm sure you understand what I'm trying to say. So what do you do? What you need to do is how do you prove the critic wrong? Is by results. I said something earlier. I said that every result cancels every insult, and there are repeated results that you give or you produce that would automatically prove your critics wrong. So you prove your critics wrong by giving results. Result is the only answer to critics. Results. And I said something earlier. I said, person will read book, na serious student. Person will pass exam, na sabi book. So you know what? It speaks to your effectiveness versus efficiency. And just like what you said, you may not be opportune maybe because you didn't go to that kind of a hybrid school, a high-tech school, and all of that. But by God's grace, there's always a leveler. And that leveler is where you are in a given a task to perform. And I'm very happy when I see Nigerians break records in the global space. They break record in university, getting 5 points, getting 4.9 CGPA in academic, because it proves to the West that look, these long-standing records or these things that are not achievable can be achieved. So that speaks to that. But now there's another question you asked about culture with elders. Now we here in the African setting, for example, you are the last born, or you are the junior, maybe in the ministry or in wherever you find yourself, and you have seniors. I will advise you that your results should be modulated so that you don't get skilled, or you don't get attacked, or you don't get your vision squashed before it's better, because we have a lot of funny people out there who are not very habitable and are not very friendly. So if you have a solution that would want to make your boss look stupid, please, I think you should rechannel it and see how you can rally with your superior to get that solution driven home. So many a times, because of your youthful or your you being a junior, you find out that you may not be heard, and that's why I like that Tony Lumulu's quote that says, "Today we may appear young, and people may not believe in us, but we will prove them wrong by succeeding and making them proud, not making ourselves proud, but making them proud." So making them proud, I say, this is my boy. He passed through me, but indirectly, you are the one that achieved that result, but it's channeled through your superior. I hope I've been able to attempt that question.
Yeah, thanks very much. Yes, you've been able to attempt it. Thank you very much. Another question I think I have is this. It's an observation that for parents and for children, You find out that children who come up from home where the parents are very critical, when you are always correcting the child comes out and the child doesn't fit in outside, if you see what I mean. The
Yeah.
first few years of that child, the child is used to bashing, if you see what I mean, and it attacks the self-confidence of the child. And here again, you see it because, especially in African culture, where every correction has to be with a cane, or it has to be with somebody talking you down or something like that. Now, the question is, how can we, as parents, keep the balance? It doesn't mean that the child will be left, if you see what I mean. I'm talking about keeping a healthy balance for the child. In such a way that, yes, of course, like the scripture says, if foolishness abounds in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction will correct it. But I think there is a balance to keep so that we don't destroy the self-confidence of that child. And that's what you see some parents say today, that they miss some opportunities and they intentionally begin to look into their children to say, I missed this opportunity because I didn't know or because I wasn't treated well. It took me time to learn. So now I'm not going to do it. So can you give some practical tips on how parents can model their children consciously? Because in life, actually, it's not really the most intelligent that has most of the goodies. It is said that it's he who has the lion heart, has the lion's share.
Mm.
If you see, the man with the lion heart, most times, if you look at our political space, for example, it's not maybe the best or the brightest, but maybe the best person that came out of all of them, if you see what I mean. So I think it's something I would like you to probably speak to on how we can keep a balance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mike, for that question. I would like to say this. That there's no formula in training a child. There's no formula because children differ according to their temperaments. We know the temperaments that the main temperament that that have been classified, and it's, as a parent, it's for you to identify the temperament which your son or your daughter falls in and see how you can model that child accordingly. First of all, I'd like to say this, that um, personally, my children, I try to give them that um, exposure of expression. I like to see you express yourself. In as much I'll correct, but I like is for you to allow a child to express his or herself. So that you're able to know the traits, with that child possesses, and you can now see how you can work on the high points and how you can tell the child as small as he or she is to work on this weakness so that the person becomes a balanced person. Now, exposure to a lot of things. For example, as you said, some parents, some of us, when we were growing up, we were bottled up, we were caged. So indeed, this time around, they will tell you, when I was growing up, they tell you don't go and play football because if you play football, you will not do well in the academics. But today, you need to go and see parents carrying their children to feed their teams, spending thousands of naira, buying boots, buying this. But they have seen that life has changed, that there's a room to mix both academics and sports and extracurricular activities. You see so many parents taking their children to vocational training, like playing of musical instruments, doing taekwondo, doing all these kind of extracurricular things. Why? In all of these things are formative in these formative years. The child can possess or build some skill sets and also learn how to live with people. Interpersonal relationships. See, we're in a ministry of men, and we need to know how to communicate and how to interact with people. So many people in my generation are failing because they don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to keep friends. They were born. You can imagine my old boy situation. To call for meetings, only 4 or 5 people will talk. Everybody's just docile. Everybody's timid. Most of them are timid. Why are they timid? Because of their upbringing. So they don't see, they're not expressive to see or to comment or to say something. That social skill is something that every parent needs to allow his or her child to go through. Your child must be a social person. Be a social animal. The child must know how to interact with other children. Must know how to accommodate children that are heady, and how to work with children, and how to also be bold to stand for their rights. But so many times, some teachers see those kind of children as children that are antagonistic. Who are you to talk back at me? Who are you to challenge me? Who are you to look into my eyes? No. I train the child to have this balance. And by so doing, the child fits in wherever he or she is. So you learn the child what it means to live in abundance, and what it means to live in limits. So back to another example I would also like to put up here is how you make children understand where they are coming from. That a good name is better than silver and gold. Look here, you are representing this family. As you are going out there, the surname is lingering. And sometimes when people see, sometimes somebody hears my surname and say, are you related to so person? Are you related to this person? So your name will find your roots. So you need to know how to live and how to represent where you come from. Then I haven't said that balance also comes as a result of values, which some people need to also design. Family values. What are your family values? What are the family ethos? What do we stand for? In our family, we don't steal. No matter how bad it is, if it means drinking Gary, never you take anybody's money. So early in life, I expose my wallet. I don't hide my wallet. My children have access to it. They will tell me that they want this. I'll tell them I won't buy it. They will respect that. So they can see. So if you start hiding your wallet to your children at this early stage, when they go out, they will see other people's wallet. They will not look at it. But when they're doing that, there's something is always hidden. It's always a problem. Then also, if you have the mind like me to send your children to boarding school, please do. When they attend boarding school, they mix up with children from other religion, other cultures, and all of that. They know names. So when you call it, that guy is from Benue State, he's from Nasarawa State. My son has friends that are from the north, south, east, and west because of the school he attends. So that exposure is very, very good. If you can give your children exposure and prayerfully, as I said, there's no formula. Prayerfully ask God to guide you, because sometimes some decisions you may take may mar or make the child. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you very much. I would like to, there are no hands up for any further questions. Just before we go tonight, if you want the materials, please, it will be shared in our WhatsApp. Go to the chat box. You will see the WhatsApp group link. Click on it. Request to join. We will add you and we will share the materials. Then also we have our Facebook and our YouTube channel there. For those of us who are coming a bit, you didn't come early, we will share. We are recording it. We will share it on our YouTube channel. So take some time to please go to the YouTube channel to visit the one we are doing now and the ones we have done in the past. Okay, we will share all of them there. On our Facebook channel too, you will see some resources. Other than that, I would like to say thank you so very much, Engineer William Asim-Ita. There is no hand up any longer. I really want to say thank you very much, and I hope that with this it will help us in not just for ourselves but our children and those who are around us in building a healthy self-esteem in them. That way we've learned it will help us to become better people in terms of productivity. It will increase our leadership and it will help us actually to fulfill our destinies. I would like to round up by saying a big thank you to all of you who have taken some time to join this evening, and I would like to